All right. That's from Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, um, what I want to talk about as far as the practical, the practical movie. Hold on. I think when you look at a movie like the Flash trailer was pretty good. Still wondering where Iris is and what's going to happen. Was that Martha Kent? Do you think? Wasn't Diane Lane? I don't know. Could have been Diane Lane. Could have been Martha Wayne, not Martha Kent. Two Marthas. I'm not sure about if the Michael Keaton is from an alternate. If it was Michael Keaton and not Ben Affleck, somehow Ben Affleck survived the Flashpoint. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. Um, or it could be uh, Michael Keaton is playing Thomas Wayne. Could be anything. There's so many theories. But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that we have the what we call the practical superhero movie. Now, I'll tell you, like one of the things I enjoyed the most was Injustice. Let me tell you, what a great, what a great. That was a series of books, and I tell you, the movie itself, the animated movie, was not very good. The animated movie was um, 70 minutes long. And even if you did a movie like a live action Injustice, which was kind of what Zack Snyder kind of came up with, it would be more condensed. And what you got in Injustice comic books were like series and series and series of great chapters, great parts. So I I was more engaged with the comic books than the movie. So the movies can only be as practical as you want to see them. As but here's the thing though, that's what we hope. But the truth is, it used to be. Let's talk. Let me talk to your grandparents here, okay, or great grandparents. It used to be, ever since the talkies, the movies that where actors are talking as you see their lips move, they're talking, right? We had Clark Gable. We had John Wayne, Gary Cooper, um, Clint Eastwood. We had Gene Kelly and Cary Grant. All these actors. It was always about let's wait for that next great movie that Cary Grant's doing or Clark Gable, right? And you were looking forward to it way back then. Now you get to your parents' times, and it's about what was the next Dirty Harry movie or the next Death Wish with Charles Bronson. At some point, when we got to the Superman, well, not so much Superman movies, but the Batman movies with Michael Keaton. When's the next Batman movie? Batman Returns, Batman Forever. Oh, wait, it's Val Kilmer. And you got the Blade trilogy, and then X-Men and Spider-Man, and then ultimately the new Batman, was it Batman Begins, the Dark, whatever Christopher Nolan was doing. So then we got, as Anthony Mackie once said, it used to be about watching the next Rambo or the next Schwarzenegger movie. But that was even different because they were more physical actors and not just like handsome actors in black and white movies. And now we're at a time where we're expecting the next Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Um, and it's only, it used to be, it was a Joey Diaz said, you would wait for the next great movie in a year or two, or maybe 3 years for the next Clark Gable movie. But now it's like these actors have like six movies they're doing at a time. So it's like now you expect they have like six or seven projects. And a lot of actors aren't even into the comic books that we want them to be. Most of these actors don't care. It's another job for them. Um, I think Ben Affleck cares more about the way out, kind of loosely based on his drinking that he did in his life. He played a basketball coach who drank, and he was a basketball coach at a private school, and then ultimately he loses his job, but he still plays basketball. He gets his wife back, just like got J Lo back. He cares more about that than Batman, which is fine. I mean, I want Ben Affleck to care about what Ben Affleck cares about, especially when he's pretending to be Matt Damon at the home. What is it? The coffee shop. One commercial. Um, some of the greatest stories are only printed. Let me show you. I'll show you a perfect example. You got here Green Lantern Earth 1. I reviewed this one, right? This one, right? And the second one. And they're both very good. I liked both of those books because those books were like a movie plot. And it was better than whatever Ryan Reynolds and Martin Campbell, whatever Martin Campbell, I think it was Martin Campbell, directed that movie and Ryan Reynolds starred in it with Blake Lively, his still his wife. And much better plot, much better writing and pacing, but it's printed. You'd have to read it. You can't watch it in the movie theater. Actors have other projects to do. They have like biopics, and you got what is it? What's her face? Will Smith's wife. Okay, you got Will Smith's wife making Cleopatra, and you could say, well, black people can be Egyptian. Well, that's normally true, but here's the thing: she said she was purposely trying to put an African American in the role of Cleopatra, like Black Queen. I'm like, a queen is somebody who was humble. A queen is someone who is humble, in my honest opinion, who can show humbleness, who can show personality restraint, but have great power and compassion. If you don't have compassion and you don't have a sense of humor and you don't show mannerisms, you're not a queen to me. That's how it is. Doesn't matter what color you are. And so that whole thing was, some people do biopics like Cleopatra. Some people do, they do thrillers. I saw there was nobody noticed this, but there was a movie called Mind Cage that Martin Lawrence, who you usually expect to see in comedies, did I mean, he's done Bad Boys, right? But this is the one I think I noticed that he's completely serious in, and that's with John Malkovich. John Malkovich and Martin Lawrence and some woman. And it was such a thriller. I don't know if it was very good. It kind of reminds me of Hard Crimes, the one with Jim Carrey just before he did Sonic the Hedgehog. So there are those. I think it's important to know, like, projects get canceled, actors get swapped out. Zack Snyder got replaced with Joss Whedon. Ray Fisher wanted out. Henry Cavill had other opportunities with James Bond. And I think Henry Cavill did a war movie of some type. He just wrapped up on a war movie. So people have got things to do. Actors got to think about acting, whether they're playing a soldier or playing a suit and tie guy, whether they're playing a romantic comedy thing. Romantic comedies, I think, are probably the least imaginative. Maybe Henry Cavill will be in a comedy, a dark comedy. Who knows? I mean, he's not exactly a comedian, but you never know. You never know what you expect these actors. I never thought Martin Lawrence would just be in a movie completely with just drama. But I think he's been in a couple of those, but not one where he's like completely serious. No weird, funny animations that they used to do all the time. The Martin show is not even happening. And people wanted to see Martin come back, the 90s show. So I haven't seen any news about that. People are waiting for the next Star Wars thing. Some of the great Star Wars stories are in Dark Horse. Here, I'll show you. Star Wars Vector. This is without the Disney logo or the Dark Horse logo. I'm still waiting for Dawn of the Jedi. I'm going to be reading that. You got Across the Spider-Verse chapters that may focus on individual characters like Spider-Punk. Okay. Here's a great prelude to The Boys, if you remember. Supreme Power. Remember this? I have the whole trilogy. I was lucky to get a hold of that. Great stuff. Great stories that, you can. The fastest things are ideas. And then second to the ideas you come up with in your head, then you write it down and you tell the story on prose, on writing on paper or typing it on a tablet or a computer, Microsoft Word, then or Notepad. And then you can act out the ideas, maybe second or close tie to that, okay? I would say second to third is drawing the ideas and then getting actors to act out, like maybe when Bram Stoker did Dracula outside of the book, he just had a reading in the 19th century. Bram Stoker and Mary Shelley and Arthur Conan Doyle, they were the rock stars way back then. So they would want things on a play and not whatever Thomas Edison was doing. Sometimes it's the creator, sometimes it's copyright, sometimes it's uh, Batgirl getting canceled by Warner Brothers because they want to save they want a tax write off. I guess the whole point is, since I've been dragging this on for over 10 minutes, is you have to expect when it comes to live action and what you want to see Michael Keaton do or Christopher Reeve, CGI Christopher Reeve. Ideas are going to be ultimately expressed by the fans, whether it's a fan film or artificial intelligence videos where somebody may make a Gal Gadot porno of her in the Wonder Woman suit, and that might be more popular than '84. To see a Gal Gadot, what the AI thinks Gal Gadot would look like naked, and then having her like be nude and shit in a Wonder Woman film that some fan made get banned on YouTube. I mean, making a faker movie, like, I think somebody made a faker. NBC shut it down, but it was a cartoon. They can make anything. People can make anything, everything and anything, everything and anything, and it'll keep going. It'll never stop. So, um, that's why you just have to look when you want to see the best things. Sometimes you just have to read them. Sometimes you have to create them. With Superman Dynasty, I'm just creating it, but I can only draw the art. I can write down the story, and I can do a little bit of sound effect, but that's it. I'm not an AI master here. I'm not. I don't have friends to go and act out the roles. That's what I do because I like to see certain things done. I have narratives in my head, just like everybody has their narratives. They want to see Superman and Wonder Woman hook up. They want to see the Suicide Squad take on the Avengers. They want to see Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton. They want to see, um, fuck, I don't know, like Captain America fight Batman. They want to see 1,000 stories, but it's whatever the actors are able to do. It's the money, it's the contracts, it's the contract limitations. I don't know when Tom Holland will be back as Spider-Man. People want to see him fight Venom. I wanted to see Tom Holland fight Tom Hardy, but that wasn't going to happen. It's just ridiculous now the way things are, and whatever comes out is whatever I see, and I'll review it and I'll share it with all of you. As far as Dawn of the Jedi, the books, I will share that with you. I will treat the movies and audiobooks and radio shows, drama shows, whatever, hologram presentations, whatever, I will treat it no differently. It's a story to me. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, let's wait for the next movie. It's going to be 25 movies. Like people wanted a cinematic universe with Mario all of a sudden. It's like, let's just wait. Maybe the second Mario movie can introduce Link from another universe or Kirby, and then that Kirby will be a spin-off of Mario 2. Just expect the worst or expect the minimal based on what you have seen. Now, this is coming from somebody who's seen movies since 1989, comic book movies. Now, Roger Rabbit was the first one I saw in theaters, but the first comic book one was Batman '89. So I've seen all these movies for a long, long time. I usually get most of it right, but whatever. Anyway, don't worry too much. Take none of what I say seriously. If you see those buttons below, you know what to do. I know what to do when I go to the movies. I'm just going to treat each movie like it's the last one ever made. And if Warner Brothers says we'll make no more comic book movies for about a couple of years, enjoy every movie that you can. If Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 flops from Disney, hey, Bob Iger's got his own problems with his layoffs and all that shit. He'll blame buying up proper IPs too quickly, probably so. You go on a hunger spree buying up the Muppets and Marvel and Star Wars, you get what you get, and you make woke projects. Let's see what the future holds, right? On to some reading.